Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome once again to another live stream. I'm very pleased to say in the studio we have Sian Faire, a business operations manager. Now, the reason why I emphasize that she's a business operations manager will become very clear very shortly. But first of all, welcome, Sian. We've often spoken in the past about the kind of work you do with people, i.e., that you manage the ins and outs of their business, you come up with concepts, ideas, and solutions. But I think what we need to understand is why you went the extra mile, the extra leg, as it were, to get yourself certified. Because I think there are lots of people out there that reference themselves as business operations managers or something similar. But you are my first ever certified business operations manager. Would you explain what the difference is and why you decided to go that route?
So it's a certified online business manager, and rather than just being an online business manager, because obviously we can all call ourselves what we want to call ourselves. So I'd been looking at it for a long time, and I'd read a book. I don't know if you say Becoming an Online Business Manager, and I was looking into it, and I wanted to reassure future clients of my abilities, and so that Tina Forsyth, who wrote the book that I read, was the original online business manager. She set up an association, the International Association of Online Business Managers, and she set up a training program. And so I invested considerable amount of money to go through the certification course to come out the other end with really a rubber stamp to say that I do know what I'm doing. It like to give credibility, because it's it started in 2008, so it's been going, it's been going a really long time, even though especially in the UK it's only been very recently that people really are talking about online business managers and such like. This isn't a new thing, it's been going a long time, which obviously means that the certification has developed to meet the needs of a modern business. And so, yeah, it was credibility. It was also, I suppose, in a way, it was also telling me that, yes, I thought I could do it, but it also said to me, yes, you can do it. Yes, you do have. So for me, some people that go through the certification, it's to learn new skills. They might be doing a career change, might be transitioning from corporate. But for me, I already had a client that I was basically running their business for them, but I wanted to ensure that I had the latest skills, the latest knowledge, the latest thinking, and pull all the skills and experience of sort of 30 years working into a modern, like a modern, up-to-date qualification.
Right. Does this mean that people have an assurity that you have recent, up-to-date knowledge that they can lean on?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it is an I've done I've got an ME in electronic engineering. I've done a postgrad course at Cambridge. I've done, the Chartered Institute of Marketing postgraduate diploma. I've done a lot of different studies over the years, and this, a lot of the time you think maybe, courses like this may not be as challenging, but it was really, it was really tough. The certification week is basically putting you through a scenario of juggling multiple clients with multiple deadlines and like not having all the information, which is, completely normal. And so it really is, it's not an easy thing to pass. It's not like, turn up, like tick a few boxes. It was, it's very intense. And so
it's a simulation of real life, I guess.
Yes. Well, that's it. The whole thing is that they will only give you like, the certified OBM if they know that, today, tomorrow, you can actually do the work of an OBM.
Right.
So yeah, it's not, it is, they've got to know that if they give you that rubber stamp, that you are actually going to be able to perform. So yeah, it was really good. It makes you learn things, however good we already, whatever skills we've already got, we learn new things about ourselves, pick up different skills. But yeah, it was, having done it, it was definitely worth the investment. And I know that when I say that, and I'm an online business manager, that I am.
Absolutely. You've passed the test and can prove your capability, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's another thorny subject that we need to talk about, because I think a lot of people who see a person like yourself who purports to help businesses do better by helping them streamline their processes, etc., correlate that with being a virtual assistant. And especially since pandemic, virtual assistants seem to have been growing like topsy. I think people have become left their corporate jobs for one reason or another. And they think, oh, I'll just call myself a virtual assistant and do a bit of typing. But that's not what you're about, right?
No. So I first came into like the remote world back in 2017. I was looking at what I could do working remotely.
Right.
And I came across, I've in one of the previous conversations, I've talked about it a bit. I came across a lady called Hannah Dixon, who runs training to enable people to work remotely. Now, in a way, yes, the label is VA, like a virtual assistant, but in the world that I did the initial training in, assistant did not equal admin. So you're right, people like myself, but also, like somebody who designs a website,
yes,
is assisting a business. They're not, they're not doing admin.
No,
they're not getting paid as an admin. But if you take the biggest group of what virtual assistant could be, it includes a lot of very skilled and specialist knowledge.
Well, it's often seen as like a Girl Friday, or somebody who'll pick up whatever needs to be done and make it happen. But you're much more focused on business streamlining and making sure that the various processes are done within a business are done easily, well, without necessarily troubling the owner. It's quite different.
So for me, what people really see now as a virtual assistant is generally like a task-based sort of role. So I, as a business operations manager, I will use like people to do various tasks that are VAs. So, but I will have written and tested out the processes, and then I hand it to someone who then repeats that process every time it needs repeating. So for me, you know, and there are some really good VAs. I'm not knocking VAs. You know, definitely it isn't anything about that. There's some, you know, there are really good VAs out there. But what generally happens is you give a VA a task. Generally, it's a repetitive task. It's things, maybe it's email management, maybe it's call handling, it's you know, it's different things like that. Whereas I'm talking about coming into a business at a level above that. You know, it's managing. It's actually, you know, like you say, it's almost buffering between the business owner and the rest of the business, so that the business owner can get on with what they need to do. If they're a business coach, they want to be coaching. They don't want to be managing their team. They don't want to be seeing what's happening with their website. They just want to know that their website's being done, that if somebody's said, oh, this isn't working, they don't really need to know that. They just need to know that somebody is keeping on top of it and that their website's running fine. They don't need to get involved in those day-to-day little niggles and things like that. So that would be like, that's just, you know, like just a small example of something that might land on my plate to resolve, but I would just make sure that the right person knows about it and deals with it. So
I think of your role as more of a general manager, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, the buck stops with you. You report directly to the CEO or the MD, and they can carry on doing whatever their area of interest is, while you go on and manage the business for them. Is that a fair description?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I manage the day-to-day running of like back end of the business, everything that goes on in the background that the client doesn't see. You know, you, like, I see you, I have a conversation with you, but I don't see everything that goes on in the background because my relationship is with you, and therefore you and I, there's, you know, like whatever is being paid for, you know, I get whatever I'm paying for. But in the background, for you to do that, there's a whole load of things that need to get done. Now, I never see that. I don't need to see that because that's not, you know, that isn't part of the relationship. But if you didn't have people doing that, not only would you be talking to all your clients, you'd be there after each meeting having to do a load of things rather than go, right, okay, I've had that meeting, that needs to be done, get it done, you know, and you know that you've handed it to someone and it's going to get done and you haven't got to worry, you know, so you can then focus on like what you are good at, your zone of genius, talking to your next client and, you know, that. So, yeah, it's really the things that happen in the background I make happen so that the business owner doesn't have to.
I mean, you've been a serial entrepreneur, so you actually had businesses as disparate as having your own yoga salon, an exercise.
Yoga and Pilates studio, yeah.
There we go. And, you know, what made you want to do this for other people?
So I love planning, organising. I love being in the background. So for me, although when I worked in the fitness industry for over 10 years, but really standing up at the front and teaching a class especially smaller classes, I didn't mind so much because they were much more personal. But like some of the bigger classes that I taught initially when I was teaching in like public leisure centres and stuff, you know, it really wasn't what I enjoyed, standing at the front of so many people. I did it because I love exercise and I wanted other people to love exercise. But actually, what I really love is being in the background, making sure things get done, making sure that things are done by, you know, the right things are done at the right time by the right people in the right way. I love doing that. So like I've managed an expo a couple of times. The thought of standing at an expo stand and talking to loads of people all day fills me with absolute fear. Not what I want to do. Not what I want to do at all. So instead, I was basically the duty manager. I ran it all. I made sure that all the talks were running on time, that if they were running late, that everybody knew they were running late. Like things shifted, doing awards, like, you know, but really just like making sure all the exhibitors had what they wanted. If there were any issues with anything, that someone's gluten, you know, whether someone's gluten-free meal was available, you know, just yeah, you know, it's just like, right, okay, the gluten-free meal like isn't there, right, what am I going to do? I need to solve that, you know. And so just little things like, you know, just making, for me, running around in the background, sort of being invisible, it is just so much.
You like being the background lady.
Yeah, I just want to like disappear into the background and just know that everything's getting done. And
so if this seems something that strikes a chord with you, I think you should follow the link that I've put beneath. If you can see it scrolling around the bottom there, sianfairevbm.co.uk. Is it? I know that she's updating the website at the moment. Sian, is it viewable?
No, the website. Yeah, so the old website is still there, and I'm working on a new one in the background. And then when I'm ready, the content will switch. So Perfect. The website address will stay the same. It's just the content that's gonna have completely rewritten. So I'm rewriting it at the moment. So
all right, well, that's amazing. Look, Sian, thank you for spending the time with me today. Anybody listening or watching, I should say, should now be a little bit clearer as to why being certified can make a difference. And I would say, guys out there, if you're looking at potentially someone to manage your business in this way remotely, that you bear in mind that there is a difference between someone that's actually been put through the mill to test their abilities to cope with these kind of strictures, and someone who's picked it up because they feel it might be something they'd like to do. Thank you very much for spending the time with me today, Sian. And I wish anybody watching or listening a successful week, and of course, great mental health. Bye-bye now.
Bye.